Are we ready to see about how you tell quality-minded consumers that you are the company that can handle them? What would you guess that quality companies make up of the carpet cleaning industry?
5%.
5%?
Say 10, maybe 15 at the most.
Yeah, I don't know a specific number on this, but I'm guessing that somewhere, yeah, probably less than 15%. But so, do you believe that there are people who are willing to pay money if you give them a good value in exchange?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There are a lot of people willing to do it. They're lining up. During the peak season for the last 5 years of my business, I was completely booked at the end of October with a waiting list in January. It's because, and I was charging 65, half my clientele was at 70 cents per square foot cleanable space. There was a ton of work out there. But when the consumers who are willing to pay that look at advertising, they look at the industry, do they see your business? And how would they know, Todd, how would they know that your business would meet their needs?
By your image, by what you say, talk about.
Okay, your image. Elaborate a little bit. Give me a specific or two on that.
Oh, well, maybe your catchphrasing, the marketing, your how you look on, I would say, today's social media.
Because that's what we're going to talk about here. Now, you can have a gorgeous website, but does that reflect the quality of the business who's represented on it? No, it just shows that they had a good webmaster who had an artistic skill to make they don't know if that company is any good, but they can make some beautiful websites. So the website by itself is not an indicator because anybody, in a sense, could have that. And the consumers are learning that now. So there's something else that they have to be able to see that helps them know that you're the company they were looking for. And that's what we're going to cover here. We're going to talk about target your customers. In other words, you have to let them see that you are the business that they've been looking for the last 20 years. They've tried a different carpet cleaning company every year and they've been frustrated. And then generally what they do is they settle for the least worst one they've had. Here's the question. You go to a party where especially if it's an area you don't work, and just go around and just ask people, do you have your carpets cleaned on a regular basis? And hopefully you're with people who they do that. And then they say, yeah. And then ask them the next question, say, what do you think of your carpet cleaner? They're going to give you a little bit of a strange look at that question. And then say, no, what do you think about him? Do you like him? Is he good, bad? And guess what they will say 80% of the time?
He's okay.
He's okay. Translated meaning, you show me somebody better and I am there. But they can't find that person. So what we need to do is get your business in a position, if that's the type of client you want, that we make it perfectly clear. And then the other reason we want to do this is because there's social review sites. It is possible for somebody to call you up and you tell them that you charge 40 cents per square foot cleanable space, and they go, that much? And they're going to write a review on Yelp saying how outrageously expensive you are. And now you got to deal with a negative review. You didn't even make any money off of this thing. Because he cannot believe that somebody could charge that much money for cleaning up his dirt. All right? So we got to make sure on both sides we don't want shoppers, assuming that you have a high-end one, we don't want shoppers. We want them to bounce off instantly. And we want the people who are willing to pay for quality to know they're in the right spot. Can you imagine walking into different dealerships, car dealerships, and you walk into a Maserati dealership? Do you feel uncomfortable walking into a Maserati dealership? I do. I can't go buy one. Yeah, I used to take care of Ferrari of Los Gatos. I had them as a janitorial account. And I used to spray buff between Maseratis and Ferraris, and I was good at spray buffing. Whoops, oh. Anyway, but anyway, there's certain dealerships you will feel like, I really don't belong here. Because they have set the environment to say, no, this is people who have a lot more money than Steve Marsh does to be here seriously. Please don't waste our salesman's time. Is the subtle message. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to tell whoever's we do not want, go somewhere else. And the people we want, we say, you're in the right place. So here are some things that we can do to make that come about. The first one is branding. What's branding? That's not a tricky question, but does anybody know, how would you describe what branding is?
Signature calling card.
Calling card, logo. Logo's part of it.
Consistency, getting your name out there, consistent logo, colors.
Consistency. That is a key element to professionalism. Is generally that if you look at a company that's branded, I was going to bring a Coke bottle. Coca-Cola is the best brand in the world, most recognized brand in the world. Google's, I think, catching up with it, but Coca-Cola. It is written in Arabic on the bottle. But at first glance, you would have assumed that was an American Coca-Cola bottle, because they have written Arabic to its brand, and everything else is identical, that you just make the assumption that is Coke.
Unless you're in China.
Then it would be in Chinese, and then it would look. Yeah,
Then don't drink it.
so that's branding, and that's a startup company, a mom and pop that just haven't given much thought to marketing, are not branded. Bill, I think when you first started working with me, did we meet in the San Jose Jet Center back then? Do you remember? Yes. Do you remember one time I had everybody come in and line up all their printed materials along the wall? And then we analyzed those materials. We said, first of all, do you have the correct pieces? Is there something missing? And then we looked at them all in a row, and you said, does it look like those all belong to the same company? Because that's the easiest thing you can do, is just standardize your brand, and you will look far more professional than if you didn't do that. When I get a new company as a client, I make up a brand profile for that company. So I'll take their logo. It's a company in Georgia. And so then I'll take the logo, and then I'll say, all right, I want to know what are the colors in his logo. And now if you have Microsoft program, you just put the eyedropper over it, put it there, and then you can say, what color is that? And it'll tell you the RGB and other variations, Pantone. You can get some other information about what that color is. Now from here on out, every time we have the color, it is going to be specifically that color. And we don't want any variations. Then I'm going to get his picture. So that's the same picture, but one's with a background, one's not. I want to put that. So I'm going to use that consistently through all of his materials. Then I'm going to take whatever associations or groups that they might have, and I'm going to put those, and these are the logos that are going to be consistently used throughout his pieces. And now, more than ever, because of SEO, you want consistency in the telephone number and how you write your address. Your SEO person will charge you a lot of money to go to every place online in the World Wide Web that has your address written differently. So you want to have consistency in your contact information. And then the final part is I would say, what are the fonts that we're going to use on all his printed materials? And this particular guy is Arial and Comic Sans MS. Okay? And so now if I'm going to have some signage made for this company, I would just email them this form. And now that graphics person has everything they need to know to make that company branded and consistent. So I would suggest everybody go home and just simply do that. And that will help. And then you go through and look and say, line up all your materials. Which ones look like they belong to another company? And you can go a lot further into this to even the style of paper you use. There's lots more details, but if you just do this, what happens is your company starts looking like it was thought out. I know that guy.
Hey, there it is.
There it is. But you see, the only thing that's changed on these is really the logo and the colors. That's branding. You do that, you start to get the customer you want. They can't tell you consciously what it is, but inside in their gut, something starts to feel pretty good. Somebody has thought through their business. It's just consistent. Okay, the message. Do we have a different message we want to feed one set of customers? And I'm comparing the shoppers versus what I called exclusive. Everybody understand why I call it exclusive? Because they're only calling me. It's either a repeat or it was referred to me. So there isn't a second telephone number that they're concerned with. So these are really the repeat referral clients that make me the most money. How much more money? A lifetime? 100 times more. So is there a different message for those two groups? That would be good to know. Because most people have one marketing plan, one message, and it's generally what made sense to them. Most companies starting out ask themselves a very logical question. Or if I were looking for a carpet cleaner, where would I look? And then they ask the next question, what would I want? Low price. Well, we'll just go actually talk about that in a second. Okay, so what we need to do is to realize that there's a difference between those two groups. We need to separate them out and know perfectly clear which appeals to which group. So once you recognize that there's a difference, if you're a new business, you might be marketing to both of those groups at the same time, sort of depending on the situation. And you can be marketing, in a sense, with some of the things like a low introductory price, but offering all the warm fuzzies that somebody looking for a professional company wants. And we'll show you some examples. So we have the shoppers and the exclusive. We want to say, what marketing themes does a shopper see that makes them say, I want that? First one, powerful equipment. There you go. Why would they need powerful equipment? Because it's only been 17 years since it was cleaned last. They know darn well you have to scoop that out with a shovel before you can begin to see the fibers to clean them. So they need power. Yeah. So that when you say, oh man, you have to stand on the rug when I'm cleaning to keep it from being sucked up into my machine. And new carpet cleaners, what are they into? There's just like power, This is the thing they talk about, right? And what do they put into their advertising? I got the biggest machine, right? They're proud of that, rightly so. What's the next thing? Low price. Was carpet cleaning my priority in life? Obviously not, if I waited 17 years to do it again, right? Okay, so it's probably, and it could be a budget concern, or maybe I just don't think it's worth it, or this is a rental house, who really cares? So low price is very important, but they don't want just the lowest price. They want the equipment that can do the job. They're not just giving away their money. They want something in exchange for it. I like to term it, they want the most that they can get for the least amount of money. All right. Speedy service. Now, we talked about this a little bit in the first half. Why do they need speedy service? Mom's coming. Yeah, there's an event. And they didn't plan ahead. So it's like, can you get here in an hour? All right, so speedy service. If you say, I am booked up for 2 months, they just laugh. and no way, I can't wait that long. I'll be divorced by then, So it's kind of like, no, we need it now. And so, which is convenient for a startup company because they have nothing better to do. So they can be out there that day. Oh, here's the other one. Okay, they got the power, they got the low price, they can do it today, and they got guarantees. Most thorough cleaning ever, or it's free. Oh, yeah. Do you think they're going to complain? Here is something that you got out 99% of the spots. This thing has not been touched with anything. They didn't even have a vacuum. And there's one spot left. What are they going to be asking for?
Can you come back and touch that?
Be free, you know? Give me my money back. All right, so they are the most picky people in the world, paying the least amount of money. Don't you just love to get up in the morning and go service people like that? And then the final one, what do they want to see, is incredibly dramatic before and after photos. And boy, I love the internet. You can see so much stuff so quickly. There are some before pictures that I go, just burn it. You know, it's kind of like, really? But these people see those and they go, somebody's carpets are worse than mine. And they just kind of get a reinforcement. I could have gone another 5 years, you know? So this is what they thrive on. They start to drool when they see these things in ads. They go, yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Okay, let's look at the other, at 10%. They're going to look at the same message, but they're not really going to get excited in a positive way. All right, so let's look at these. Powerful equipment. Well, here's a woman with a $2.5 million house that she's paid her interior designer $250,000 to redo the downstairs, just the furniture and wallpaper by itself. All right? Do you think she's going to let some man with a big, powerful rug sucker into her delicate house that she had to go without a sofa for 4 months while it was sent to France to have the fabric put on it? No. Okay. Low price. You think, now, come on, these people, how did they get their money but being cheap, right? What do you get for the lowest price? You get what you pay for. You get the lowest quality. Now, you can pay the lowest quality for things if it doesn't make any difference to you. All right? That's very reasonable. It makes perfect sense. But anything that has value to you, paying the lowest price should send off all the warnings that could possibly exist, saying, wait a minute, are you sure you want to risk it for it? What if they scratch that table? What if they use the wrong cleaner on it? It's cost me too much to get this. I have somebody I know that I meet at the conventions. He's up in Idaho, and he cleans private jets. They fly these jets in from all over the world to this guy, one guy to clean. Because if you scratch one of the pieces of furniture on those jets, it will cost them $50,000 to replace that woodwork in that jet, and that jet will not be available for a period of time. Just a scratch, they will not accept that. And they fly it into this one guy in Idaho. Cool. But that's where, is it valuable to you? It's kind of like, I think for my own self, I go, if I was going to have LASIK eye surgery done, do you think I would be looking in Valpak for that?
Probably. Knowing you.
Knowing me, yeah, okay. So anyway, low price, that doesn't, they know better than that. Again, they've had bad experiences. They know what you get for the lowest price. Speedy service, what does that tell you?
Zoom, see you in the bag.
Well, speedy service, that's fast service, but available right now.
If you were good, you'd be booked out.
That's it. Have you ever gone, that's my brother Len in the back there. I think we were in on the Alameda. We were walking, doing something, and we needed to go to lunch, and there was a Mexican restaurant there, and it was at 12:15 in the afternoon on a Saturday, and we were going to go to it, but there were no cars in the parking lot. We walked on. There's something wrong with that, okay? So it was open, but there were no cars in the parking lot at lunchtime, and it was just like, no, we're going to walk on. So they know everything. They're going to have their nails done. They're going to have dinner. You have to have reservations. It takes time. You got to plan ahead. So if you're available right now, that's probably not a good sign, all right? And then guarantees. The problem with this one is they hadn't really thought about what happens when you screw up.
Don't screw
And so by putting that into their mind, you now have made them think twice. You mean I'm going to have to call and complain if things aren't the way I want them to be? So now everybody should have a guarantee, but that is not what you put the spotlight on. All right? And then the final one, before and after pictures. Oh my gosh. They go, do people really live like that? Did he sanitize his equipment before he comes to my house?
it. Right. Yeah.
And how could somebody who can do that work in my nice, delicate little house that it was cleaned 4 months ago. There was a spot. And I'm going to pay somebody, I'll pay somebody $300 to come and take care of my spot, fluff it a little bit. They don't need that. This is not a good message. So all those things that make the shopper market drool sends out a warning flag to all of the market I think most of us are after. So then the question should be, what does that market want? I'm glad you were thinking that. Okay. So first off, what do they want instead? So what they want instead is they want professional service. They want somebody who knows what they're doing, has the track record. This is why that professional image of that consistent branding is the first thing that they're going to see and notice, kind of at a subconscious level, but that looks like the types of professional companies they use all the time. And do those cost more? Yeah, okay. And then what they want is knowledge and credentials. They want something to support it. What do you see on the walls when you go to a doctor's office? Credentials, all their certificates. You go, I didn't know there were that many schools in the world. And then you look at them, they're dog training certificates and all this. No, but it's the credentials. This guy's been around. He has updated and all the latest information. And so this is what they want to see. This guy knows what he's doing. He has experience. And then they want that expertise. The expertise here is the knowledge, but also the years of having done it. All right, so if you've been in business for more than 7 years, I would start flaunting that fact. Who's been in business the longest?
Probably Jimmy.
Right here, 81.
81? 80.
71.
71. Okay.
I started commercial janitorial.
Oh, that's close enough. Yes, I'll give it to you. You're the winner. You beat me out. Okay. All right. So that's what they're looking for. So what you want to do in your messages is tell, how long have you been doing this?
Advertise that.
Advertise that. Yep. And I'm going to show you examples of this stuff. And they want confidence. What they want is the confidence that you know what you're doing. So in other words, if somebody says, well, I had this type of spill, is they want somebody who has the confidence to say, there's a certain procedure that we going to go through to see what we can do. But what you're describing to me is generally a permanent stain. And what we're going to do this, and this step, and many times we can make it appear much better. But what you have is a permanent stain. And we're going to take it right up to the point that is safe, where it won't cause it to look worse. We will do the best job possible. So you almost need to be able to say straight out what you can and can't do and know how to do it. I used to clean for a company as interior designer called Los Gatos Porch. And they used to call me to clean the furniture that had been on the showroom floor. And one of the reasons they called me, I won't go and spend a lot of it, but this was very expensive stuff because they knew when to stop. If I made anything worse, if I stopped at the right place, it would be saying this is a $2,000 chair and it has a slight flaw. So they're going to have to take off 20% off the price for this little tiny spot. All right? But if I make it worse, what's that chair worth?
Nothing.
Almost nothing. All right? So why they called me for years and years is I knew when to stop because I knew where not to make it worse. All right? So that was the kind of expertise that people who have the nice homes are looking for. So a lot of the ways, and the confidence is that you know what you know, and it's just not, oh, I can do it, and I'm going to get all my chemicals and try everything until we get it out. Then they go, nope, don't want that. They want to know you know your limitations, and you'll be honest with them. All right? They'll accept that. And then the final one is they don't want before and after pictures. They want to see pictures of you cleaning your target market homes. In other words, if you could make one for each consumer looking, is you'd almost say, what does your boss's house look like? When you went there for a Christmas party, how nice was your boss's house? That's the kind of picture they want to see, that you're comfortable working in that environment and you have plenty of experience doing it. Not the before and after picture, because anybody who has a nice house would never let their carpets get to the point that they even look dirty. I can't tell you how many times I went into houses and under my breath I would be saying, why am I here? All right, because that made a difference to them. All right, so let's look at some examples of where this plays out.
Matt,
Yeah, whose company is this? What kind of clientele are they appealing to? They're looking for the shoppers. Here we have the guarantee. Okay, now every company should have a guarantee. And it should be stated somewhere, but it should be stated like way down here, not up in the top corner. What kind of powerful equipment do they have? Truck mount? They're open 7 days a week.
Wow.
So that way they can get you on that Sunday because mother-in-law's coming Sunday night. This one I don't think says same-day service.
Free sanitizer.
Lots of free things.
Wow, weird.
All right. They do a lot of things that I wouldn't want them to do at my house, but
Soil treatment.
okay. If this is somebody's, I don't, now I'm not bad-mouthing this
They go outside and work.
company. This company has been doing this a long time. It's effective. It's going for a certain market that appeals to. Here's another one that comes to my house all the time. Same general idea, turbo dry, truck mounted unit, most advanced, of course, 7 days a week. Again, similar things, but everything, they design these across the country and they know what works. And that's what they try to move you into. This is what appeals to somebody on a low budget that doesn't really care a lot. Now, does this one look the same? Anyone here from Zero Res? No? Okay. Does it look the same? How is it different? What do you see different on this?
Not so much information. It's easier to read, obviously.
Easier to read. Do you see a technician?
accreditation.
Okay, there's accreditation. Okay, see the Carpet and Rug Institute. Or is that the Wool Board? Wool Board, excuse me. But look at the furniture. And the guy, okay, that looks like he's got to be his first job to be looking at together.
30 years ago.
Yeah. But if you look at that, that reads a much clearer. Instead of your whole house for $90, which the other one said, this is 2 rooms. So their prices aren't the lowest prices. But it starts to get the feel that this has that professional look to it, and it's not overwhelmed that we'll even clean out your garbage disposal and rain gutters, and that other one will do everything for you because it's trying to catch whatever works, and that works for those companies. They've been doing it for years. All right? But this one is trying to capture that 25% of the market who is looking for it but really wants something that's a little bit more quality. I really don't. It's a franchise, so I'm sure they operate differently, but I'm assuming that this company provides a good value. but their marketing message is much more suited to that more desirable clientele, and a big difference between the two. These all come in the same envelope, and they realize they have a market here that they can snag some of the good customers that don't know where else to go. And when you compare the two, if you're that type of consumer, you're going to jump to this one versus the other one. Now, part of the message is your written message. So your copy that you would have on your website, but where I'm going to use as the example is your profile on Angie's List and Yelp. What do you say about your business? So here's a company in, this is Austin, Texas, and I don't expect you to read that there. But this is how his profile. Says everybody filled out their profile on Angie's List and Yelp. If you didn't, in 2 months there's going to be an article in Clean Facts where I write about how really important that is to do. All right, but this is what it says. So under specialties, it says Santa Fe Floor Care is a full-service residential carpet, stone, rug, and upholstery cleaning company serving Travis County and surrounding areas. The term I like in there to describe who it is we do, what kind of work we do, it's a full-service company as opposed to a budget. It says, we believe the entire experience from your first call to us until well after the work has been completed should be pleasant and professional. We take the time to do the work right the first time. The details are important. Getting professional floor care can be a pleasant event. Santa Fe Floor Care cleans according to the internationally accepted cleaning standards of the Clean Trust. We stand behind all of our work and provide a 30-day spot and spill warranty to protect you from unfortunate spills that may occur following the cleaning. We look forward to demonstrating what good service is supposed to be. Services offered, we provide carpet, stone, tile, rug, upholstery cleaning. Stone restoration and polishing is also available. And then a little bit about the company, the history. It says, we have been cleaning carpet, stone, tile, rugs, and upholstery in Austin area for 15 years. Repeatedly, we have heard homeowners wish for service companies that can provide quality workmanship along with a pleasant service experience. We designed and started Santa Fe Floor Care to fulfill that desire. We appreciate the difference small details makes in creating a wonderful cleaning experience. It is our goal to raise the standards for residential service companies by providing outstanding work in a flawless manner. And then it talks about him personally, but that, to me, is a good profile if you're trying to convey that you provide quality service. Any question about this and the messages of what the consumers are looking for? Making sense? Starting to look a little bit more clear? What can we do to change the verbiage of our materials, the image of our materials?
Steve, I have a question. So
Yes.
Is that where most of the quality clients are going, is Yelp?
They keep getting more people turning to them every year.
More so than Angie's List, right?
Yeah, I think Angie's List, its turn that it made this last year is going to take them out of the social review and convert them into a lead generating. As soon as the consumers catch on that only the companies that pay Angie's List money are the ones that are listed, they're going to lose a lot.
I heard Home Advisor bought this.
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
That I'm not up on that, but that's good to know.
A month ago.
That's why they made the shift then. Okay, because it fits right in with it. It shifted from a social review site to a lead generating site. Now the one we all have to stand and just look out for is Google is going to go into the home services. So they're going to become a lead generating, and guess who gets top ranking? So be aware, start getting your Google reviews now, because it's going to be kind of like Angie's List. It's a winner-take-all environment that whoever has the most reviews will be at the top, and the top 1 to 2 slots are going to get 80%, the lion's share of all of the new jobs coming in, which means they get more reviews, which means that they keep rising and everybody else sinks.
Wow. Huh.
I've experienced that with both Angie's List and Yelp.
Yep. But I have one client, it's a pest control company. Last month, and we had invested a lot of time and energy into Yelp, paying them money, advertising money, getting reviews, and so we became one of the top-rated reviews in one of the cities. We have not paid that Yelp any money for the last year. Last month, we had over 50 good leads come in at no cost to us at all. So the winner takes all. Credentials. How do we make, what are credentials? We kind of talked about those a little bit before. These are your credentials. So it's all your certifications. I even like the idea that you list what your certifications are. Trade associations kind of ran out of room, but you guys are involved in it. If you're in the wool board, you should have that. Anything that you can get a logo for an organization which is industry related, do it. And make those visible on all your printed materials and your digital materials. Social acceptance. What do other people think about you? So this is what are the big ones here. So if you have a 5-star rating with Yelp, flaunt it. And that should be a link to your page so they can read all those 5-star reviews. Don't lie about that one. You'll be busted so fast. And how many years in business have you been in? And then Diamond Certified, that's a big one around here. That's hard to get qualified in. If you're qualified for that. Anybody here in Diamond Certified? Yeah, Jeff, you are. The credential is worth a lot. It's not a tangible, like it's going to get you the jobs that justify it.
If you pay the money, he's Diamond certified.
Exactly.
Okay.
Don't let them know.
And then Super Service Award, if you have that and it's active, be sure to include that in your material. And then the Better Business Bureau, I kind of faked their emblem. That is not official. So if Better Business Bureau saw that, they might not like me. But I want to show that off. So that would be one of the things that I put in there. But anyway, this kind of shows, yep, you've been around, people accept you, you have good rankings and all those things. And many times they will turn to Angie's List and to Yelp to check what your ratings are. It's very powerful. A picture is worth 1,000 words. In the digital age that we are in now, pictures cost nothing. So we should use them to our advantage. But just like the words you use or the things you emphasize, you put the wrong pictures in, it sends a different message than another photograph. So I arbitrarily chose this company. I mean, I just said, who's a company in Colorado? Denver. And I chose one. And I assume, because of the reviews and everything, that this is a good company. So if you know who this person is, I again, kind of like the coupons, nothing personal against him, but I just wanted to show you what is so common when it comes to photographs. And again, see if you see the theme of what kind of photographs they have. So this is the collection, so we'll see the close-up ones. And so this would be a type of before and after picture.
Nice job, though.
Yeah? How many years do you think it's been since that was cleaned? That other guy's a mechanic. Maybe that's it. I don't know. So I'm just going to go through. So that's upholstery, so they're showing it that, you got the edge clean there. Another cushion. It is a Herculon, but look at what we can. I'll let you tell me as we get through all of these things. Does this send you a message? Which one of those two groups is this going to appeal to? Yeah. Wow. He could do that to my upholstery? I like that guy. That's impressive. Wow.
We've seen miracles.
Look at that powerful equipment. Wow. Look at what it's doing there. Oh, man. Yeah, mine kind of looks like that the before part, yeah?
You sat on that?
Yeah, lots of times. And the dog and the,
Damn. Cigarette burn.
okay. And this is, in Yelp, you don't want to separate your before and after pictures because unless you pay them money, they can juggle those up. So all you would see is this picture by itself and you go, the message here is, but this one happens to be the after. So generally, if you're going to show before and after, you put them in a single frame, split screen, but so that that they see it as one picture that they can't get separated. And again, he's not using the best pictures in size for the situation, not thinking it through. I'm not sure what that, I think that's soap suds there. I'm not sure what he was showing, but there's, needs a better description on it. I have no idea what that was of. And this is just a funny picture, I guess.
Customer pages.
White dog, maybe he steam cleaned the dog. Fluffy, okay. And this one I had to look at it a couple of times and I go, oh no, that's a duct, yeah. That's a vent duct. I'm assuming that's, in the floor.
Damn.
Okay, this picture. So a lot of pictures end up in these things that somebody hasn't thought through the logic. They just say any picture and they throw them in. You got to go, can you tell a story about it? And so I thought, okay, who can I put on the spot here? So you might recognize this person. Notice the change in pictures. So what we're looking in a photograph is we're trying to be in front of showing what kind of houses we are in on a regular basis and that you know how to work in those environments and do it safely. And so let's just go through the individual pictures.
Bill, what was that one review of that?
Over here hiding in the back.
It looks like a really old picture because look, 10 years ago?
How long ago was that? I don't know. Got that. Yeah. But showing a consumer, either greeting a consumer at the door, talking to them, these are all powerful pictures. And then it's, what kind of houses do you work at?
A picture where she has to make them lunch because it's there all day.
I've had customers do that for me. And so what does that tell you about this company? Do you think this is a budget company? I wouldn't think so. All right, so this is what you want it real clear to the consumer, and whichever group they're in, they're going to respond accordingly. And these aren't hard to do. Every one of you is carrying around a camera in your pocket. Get it out, set the timer on it, take your picture. All right? I always like to do that when the consumer's not really watching or unless I ask permission for it. Although you have these little nanny cams watching you all the time. But be a little cautious taking pictures in other people's houses.
Yeah, that was the question I was going to ask is you take a picture of somebody's house and you publish it on there or a picture of picture of him with the consumer. Do you have to have something written out that's okay that you put that on your own?
Bill, what did you do for this?
That was with that photo shoot.
Yeah, we did a photo shoot. So actually we had 4 or 5 of us in this room, all got together. We had a model, a nice house, and we did a photo shoot. So those were all a signed off model.
If we don't have a photo shoot with the model,
Why not set one up? Tell them you have a customer and has a nice enough house and
take a picture of somebody's nice house or nice living room and put it on your website because
no, you would want to make sure that you have permission to put it on a website. Yeah.
you do not have.
But this one is we got a bunch of cleaners together and said, let's do it right. And from this, we made a lot of good videos and use those pictures in all sorts of places. So it's worth doing because now you have this professional looking image that can make you stand out and look perfectly what the consumers want. And there's Bill.
It's like an instruction picture.
Eh.
With the person,
It's not that one.
Okay, the other thing I like is icons. You have less than 10 seconds before people will bounce off of your website. And you want to convey as much of the correct information and feel about your business to keep them there for longer than 10 seconds. And one of the easiest ways to do it is to use icons and logos. So here would be the example. You put this here, and in a glance, people may not know what those things are, but suddenly it gives them consumers don't know who IICRC is, but it sure looks official. All right, so you want to include those wherever you can. And be sure you put the CFI one on there. And just put those, whatever it is, put everything you can, so in a glance they get a feel, and then they can go back and read the copy to find out what those things are all about.
Steve, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
So you were mentioning you go to the doctor's office and there's all the credentials. So we don't read those. We don't know what they are, but it's just.
You don't read them? What are you reading there? Magazines? Those are distraction. You're supposed to read those. Go up there and read them. Really?
But it's there to know
It's it's there. Yeah. Because the doctors want you trusting whatever they tell you. And so they have to have the credentials, at least start to brainwash you, and then they're wearing the white coats, and everybody else is calling them, doctor, and of course they are doctor, but this a whole kind of, they're talking about life and death things. You better have confidence in them. So that's the perfect example. Any other questions? That's the end of my presentation. So I will gladly answer some questions here for a few minutes.
Wow. What's the easiest way would you suggest let's say for instance, I don't advertise obviously, but if I wanted to get away from my advertising, what would be one of the easiest first steps to get away from that?
It would be to clarify, first of all, brand your company, but I know yours is well branded.
Well branded, yeah.
But just make sure that follows through every other place.
Okay.
Things like having your vehicle look clean.
Yeah.
I'll go to another extreme, is when I was cleaning, I would go through 6 shirts, work shirts, in one day.
Right.
Because I would show up at the job, I'm fresh, right? And I would go clean, but how long until I'm all hot and sweaty? We're working at 100% humidity, all right? Before I got to collect the job, I didn't want to go collect a $500 check and be smelly, all right? So I would go out to the van, and inconspicuously I would towel off, swap shirts, comb my hair, and go collect on the bill. All right? So now the consumer probably doesn't pick up anything except at least I don't stink. That would have been a negative. I'm preventing a negative from happening. He's good. He's good. All right, so I collect on the bill. Now I pick up I always would leave the hoses to the end because you don't want the customer saying, oh, would you get this one other little powder room? How many times have you picked up all your hoses and they want it and you go, no, I got to get to my next job? So I would always leave those hoses and everything outside the door, out of the house before I got paid. But I didn't have to go reset up everything if they needed something. And then what I would do is then I pick up all that equipment, get in my hot van, drive to the next job. I'm all hot and sweaty and wilted again. All right, so I pull over in the shade of the tree, go through that whole process over again, towel off, put a new shirt on, comb my hair, and go to job number 2 and repeat that process. My wife did not mind doing my laundry. All right, but these are the little things that you do that they don't know what it is, but you sure come across a lot more together than that last stinky guy, all right? So your whole image, how clean is your vehicle? To me, I always had a white van because you could get away with murder with the van, but I made sure the glass and the chrome shined. And then it was always, I never washed it, I daily buffed it. Spot cleaned it and made sure everything looked good. So these are the little things, but your equipment needs to look good. It always needs to work. And so it's these things that you start to create a value and people will refer you more. And then the other thing is if you're trying to build those exclusive consumers, you must stay in touch with them. If you think that they will stay loyal to you, they'll simply lose your phone number and be in a jam, and you would have forced them to call someone else. So you need a follow-up system, or they will drop off faster than they should.
What about videos?
Videos are very helpful. I didn't want to go into that today, but yeah, because you got a video. Because when you have a well-done video, and yours is very well done.
I had Yelp create me one too.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that a good video shows you, and you just get time. The other thing that's nice about a video is it shouldn't be over about 90 seconds in length. But Google is seeing that people are on there doing something for 90 seconds, which boosts your SEO. So there's all sorts of good reasons for doing it. But yeah, anything else? All right. Wish you all the best. Whatever you can put in, do it.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
The presentation.